Pete Dougherty covers the Packers for the Green Bay Press-Gazette, USA Today Network in Wisconsin. If I told you 2 weeks ago, Aaron Rodgers, signed, sealed, delivered, making $50 million a year, or that Davante Adams was going to be a Raider, you would have said what?
I would have said, no way. I always took it as, I always looked at me like it was going to be a package deal, and Rodgers wouldn't come back unless he had assurances that Adams was going to be back. Rodgers made the point that he didn't want to be part of a rebuild, and Adams is obviously his go-to guy, and he wants to win the Super Bowl, and they're a better team with Adams than without him. So the surprising thing here is that Rodgers agreed to come back knowing that this was at least a possibility that the Packers would trade the guy, which reportedly he knew it was a possibility.
See, that's what I found interesting. If I'm Aaron Rodgers and I know that Davante Adams doesn't want to come back, then I would probably lean towards Rodgers wanting to leave if Adams, or talk Adams out of wanting to leave and go play for the Raiders here. Like the Aaron Rodgers angle is really interesting to me, Pete, with the timing of it, and he's going to lose one of the best, if not the best, wide receiver in football.
Yeah, it surprises me too. And, the money obviously mattered because he signed this deal that's paying him a legit, $50 million a year. Rodgers did that. But if they traded him to Denver, I'm sure Denver would have, or somebody else, they would have paid him the same thing.
Yeah.
I think he saw the Packers as the best chance for him to get back to the Super Bowl. I mean, almost all most of the good quarterbacks are in the AFC now, so the path to the Super Bowl is a little easier in the NFC. Packers have a lot of talent still, so they're a good team. But Adams had to have been a big part of that calculation, or at least I thought it was. And we haven't heard from him, and the Packers are the ones, as far as I can tell, who are leaking the information that Rodgers knew that this was a possibility. So maybe they're overstating the case, and maybe he's not so happy. We'll find out in the coming weeks and months. They did get some assets in return, but I don't know what you think, Dan, but maybe 2 years from now, this helps them out a lot if they hit on these draft picks. But for 2022, their Super Bowl chances probably take a dip here. I don't see how they don't without what a great player Adams is.
And you mentioned, Pete, that you think the Packers leaked this information just to let their fan base know we did everything that we could possibly do. And it felt like they were saying that about Aaron Rodgers. Like, hey, we want him, he's going to be the highest paid quarterback. They didn't say anything negative, and they're probably doing the same thing, kind of covering their tracks with Davante Adams. Was he going to make as much, if not more, if he stayed in Green Bay?
That's what the leak, again, I'm sure from the Packers said, is that he was going to make the same. Now, contract structure, you never know about that stuff. Guaranteed money, you never know for sure about that. But they're painting the picture that they wanted to pay him the same amount of money. And I guess the other kind of surprising thing about this is David Carr is a pretty good quarterback. If you're ranking all the quarterbacks in the league, he's probably right about in the middle, right? But Adams is moving on from, I see why you'd want to play with him. College teammate, he probably really likes the guy, but he's leaving, one of the best pure passers to ever, play the game. And I'm sure Adams is thinking Hall of Fame at this point of his career. So I'm a little surprised that, he'd be okay leaving Rodgers for, just about any other quarterback too.
If I said you could interview Aaron Rodgers today, Davante Adams today, or Brian Gutekunst, the GM of the Packers today, you only got one.
Just one of them. Are they on truth serum?
I can't have that part of the
okay.
The equation.
If they're not on truth serum and it's on the record, then I'd want to talk to Adams.
How much do you know about Adams? Did he ever bring up wanting to play for the Raiders before?
I saw a quote yesterday that I'd forgotten about. He was asked about it really early in the season last year, and he said, he didn't dismiss the possibility. He said, hey, you never know what's going to happen. I love David Carr. It'd be great to play with him again. Said something to that effect. So, he did telegraph that this was at least a possibility in his mind.
Yeah, it feels like Aaron Rodgers is going to get blamed for this. Should he?
For Adams leaving?
Yeah.
because he gets blamed for everything else.
Yes,
I
he
guess.
does. Yes, he does. Yes, he does.
Yeah, well, that's why the Packers leaked what they did, because it wasn't our fault.
Is this still a threatening team? Like, if you're going to handicap the NFC right now, we don't know what they're going to do with those draft picks. But Brady back, Rams got Allen Robinson. I don't know if the Cowboys seem like they might be stuck in neutral here. So, handicap the NFC. Where do the Packers fit in without Davante Adams?
Oh, they're still right up there, but their percent of chances of winning it, go down at least a couple notches, a couple percentage points. The thing that, jumps out to me, because Adams, he produces great, which is huge, but he also changes the way that teams defend the Packers. He commands double teams and all that coverage. So he makes other guys better too. I'm sure they're going to have to sign a veteran or two, but it's going to be mid to lower tier guys. They're going to draft at least 2 receivers. I wouldn't be a shocker if there were 2 in the first 3 rounds even. What do they have? 4 or 5 picks there to work with in the first 3 rounds, 5 picks. But we know rookie receivers often have trouble contributing. So, I still think they're right there. They've got Bakhtiari back and Alexander back. Both of those guys basically missed all last season, and they still had, the best record in the NFC. So, yeah, I think they're still really dangerous. Good running game. They got Aaron Rodgers as their quarterback. They're just a little less equipped now when they're playing their best teams, unless they just hit huge on a draft pick who's ready to play a lot of good football, right out of the gate.
Your job's too easy, Pete. Imagine if you covered the Jaguars. Last year would have been interesting, but you got a story. The stories write themselves for you.
They do. Like last time I was on, we were talking about, the circus was coming to downtown because Rodgers was demanding a trade. So look how much things changed in 1 year. And he's back, and now who knows? Maybe next year he wants out again.
Were you there for all of Favre's career?
I was.
How does that compare? The drama meter. These Packers.
I didn't think it could get higher than Favre, but it has managed to, with all the COVID stuff last year with Rodgers and wanting the trade, and now all of this. It always ends up the same with these star quarterbacks, I guess.
Pete, thanks for joining us. Have a great weekend. We appreciate your time.
Sounds good, Dan. Appreciate you having me.
That's
Thanks.
Pete Dougherty. He's the Packer columnist for the Green Bay Press Gazette.